up guys, Tabby here and welcome back to my channel. You guys, it is finally here. It is March 1st and the Unspeakathon has begun. I am so freaking excited that it's finally here. It's finally happening. Like, I feel like me and Leanda have been working on the Unspeakathon for so long. Again, if you guys do not follow Leanda, you definitely need to. She's gonna be doing videos as well of her going through the Unspeakathon, and I'm just so excited that it is finally here. Now, if you guys missed my previous videos about the Unspeakathon, definitely stop. Go watch those and then come back. I went through everything there is to know about the Unspeakathon, the entire guidebook. So this video really isn't explaining the Unspeakathon. I'm really just sharing my TBR, the prompts I chose, and the books I chose for those prompts. But I will be vlogging my entire journey through the Unspeakathon in hopes of becoming an Unspeakable. So those videos will definitely be coming up throughout this month. If you guys are also joining in on the Unspeakathon, definitely make sure you guys are sharing on social media, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Just make sure you use the hashtag Unspeakathon so we can all keep up with each other's progress. But without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into my TBR. So the first room, which is the love room, the prompt that I chose is prompt number 4, which is a book that is most loved, aka a Goodreads Choice Award. So I did go on Goodreads and I ended up finding The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. And I have to say, this book sounds phenomenal. I'll put the description of the book on the screen as well. Let me scooch over a little bit. So yes, the description of the book. This is the first book that I chose. Now remember guys, even though the love room technically is like the first room in the guidebook, that doesn't necessarily mean that this is the first book that I'm gonna read. Again, we will all be drawing which rooms we go through, so we will not all be in the same room at the same time. So this might not be the first book that I end up reading. We'll see. But the second room is the brain room, and I'm actually going to do 2 of the prompts for this room. I'm going to do the first one, which is a book from a memorable author. And of course, I had to do my favorite book from my favorite author, which is The Secret by Julie Garwood. I think I've talked about this book several times on my channel throughout all the videos because I've read this book more times than I can count, but I will never get tired of it. And Julie Garwood is definitely my most memorable author. She's one of my favorite. Like, she is the author that I will always recommend if somebody asks me, hey, do you recommend any authors? Julie Garwood. Julie Garwood. Julie Garwood. That's my answer always. Julie Garwood. And the second prompt that I chose for the brain room is the 40-point prompt, which is the figure it out prompt. 4 + 2 x 350 pages. So how I figured out this prompt is I literally went to my bookshelf, went to the 4th row down and the second book over. And I think the first time I did that, the book that was there did not have 350 pages. So I went back and did like 4th row down. And then from the other side, I did the second book over. And that ended up being Only a Monster Can Kill a Hero by Vanessa Lynn. This book has been on my bookshelf for a hot minute. I got it from one of my book box subscriptions. Like, look at the sprayed edges. I think this one's from Fairy Loot. Yes, Fairy Loot exclusive signed edition. I actually have another copy of this book, I think from Owlcrate. So I have 2 copies of this book and I still have not read it. So yeah, this is what it ended up falling on, and it has 356 pages. So it was right there. It barely made it, but it made it. It has over 350 pages, so it counts. Again, I'll put the description on the screen if you guys want to read it. This definitely sounds like such a good book. I don't know how I forgot about it and had it there for so long, but yeah, I'm excited to finally read it. And moving on to room number 3, the space room. The prompt that I chose is the 40-point prompt, which is read a book faster than the speed of light. It has to be over 250 pages. And the book that I chose is All Good People Here. A patient of mine actually recommended this to me. We were talking about books and she told me about this book. And y'all, again, I'll put the description on the screen. It sounds so good. It's very kind of mystery thriller, which honestly is not my favorite genre. It really isn't. Like horror, mystery, those are books that I tend to be like, yeah, I like fantasy, romance, spicy kind of books. But the way she like was describing this book, I was like, bet I will read it. For sure. And it has 320 pages, but I actually ended up getting it on Audible, and it says it's a 10-hour and 35-minute audiobook. Again, this is one that you have to read within 10 hours. But thankfully, guys, I listen to my audiobooks at like 2.5. So I think when I increase the speed of it to 2.5, how much faster will it be?
This is Bundle. Penguin Random House Audio presents All Good People Here. Read for you by the author, Brittany Presley, and cursive actor. This is the author, Ashley Flowers.
This is how I read it, guys.
For all of my crime junkies.
I'm sorry. I think it says 4 hours and 14 minutes. So that took like 5 hours off. So 4 hours and 14 minutes I can definitely do. But just so you guys know, I am also doing the 75 hard challenge. I'm on day 14 of 75. And that will probably be a very big part of my vlogs because it's kind of become such a big part of my life right now. It's something I'm definitely trying to challenge myself with and help me eat better and work out better and like just feel better. And I've been doing it for 2 weeks and guys, I feel so much better. I'm not as bloated. I feel like my skin looks so much better because I have to drink a gallon of water a day. I feel like I might as well just spend my day in the bathroom because all I do is pee. TMI, I'm sorry, but literally that's where I am. But I have to work out 45 minutes 2 times a day. So I did get a lot of audiobooks for this TBR just because I can work out and read at the same time. Like we're gonna have to multitask a lot this month, guys. We got lots going on right now, okay guys? So I do have a lot of audiobooks. But moving on to room number 4, we have the time room. The 2 prompts that I chose is the first one, which is worth 10 points, a book from your past, aka a childhood favorite. So when me and Leander were coming up with prompts and we came up with this one, my mind immediately went to Ella Enchanted. When I say this book was my favorite growing up after Harry Potter, okay? When I say favorite, everything's always after Harry Potter. I don't have to say that, just know that. So, but this book was my favorite. I've read this book so many times and it has been several years since I've read that book. And so I really wanted to do this prompt. I didn't have to, but I really want to do this prompt. So I could probably read this in a couple hours. Legit, guys. It's not a big book. Again, this prompt doesn't have like a page minimum. So Ella Enchanted, again, I'll put the description up. If you have not read this, it is such a good book. Like this book is so good, they turned it into a movie with Anne Hathaway. The movie is crap. Don't watch it. I hate the movie. It's so bad. So bad. Like so many people like it. Obviously, they haven't read the book. Like if you like the book, you hate the movie. I'm sorry. In my opinion. Might be wrong, but I hate the movie. It's so bad. Like it's a musical. They turned it into a musical. And anyway, that's a rant for another day. Okay, moving on. Oh, and if you hear chickens, my neighbor has chickens in our subdivision. So there's that. The second prompt that I chose for the time room was the 20-point prompt, which was a book that was lost in time, aka check your TBR. Now, when I say this book got lost on my TBR, I am not being dramatic. I've had this book on my bookshelf for over a year, at least. And it sounds like such a good book and I've just not ever gotten to it. And it's so beautiful. So as you can tell, it is Fable by Adrienne Young. Look at the sprayed sparkly edges. Again, I'll put the description on the screen if you want to read about it. But yeah, I've had this for so long. Why I've never read it, and it just keeps getting pushed and pushed. I'm surprised it doesn't have dust on it. Again, it's been on my bookshelf, just sitting there in all of its beautiful glory, not being read. So again, this is another prompt that I really wanted to do, and I knew immediately this was the book that I was gonna pick. Moving on to room number 5, the death room. This is another room that I decided to do 2 prompts instead of 1. First one is the 20-point prompt, a book that is seriously haunting, and the book that I chose is another audiobook, and it's Haunting Adeline. Adeline? Adeline. I think it's Adeline. Again, haunting is right there in the title. I'll put the description on the screen. This definitely sounds like a very haunting thriller mystery kind of book. There were some trigger warnings, so again, definitely check the trigger warnings before you decide to read this. I did read the trigger warnings, and I kind of was on the fence about reading this book, but the reviews on this book made it sound so good, and I'm really trying to push myself out of my comfort zone a little bit for this readathon. So this definitely sounded like a very intriguing book. Hopefully not as extreme as some of the trigger warnings made it seem. Fingers crossed. I don't know. But it definitely sounds very haunting, which is perfect for this prompt. So that'll be worth 20 points. And the second prompt that I chose is the 30-point prompt, which is a book with a deadly title. And the book that I chose is Dead Silence. Again, for this prompt, you just had to have a book with dead, deathly, in the title. And Dead Silence definitely fits. And here's the description. Again, another one that is a little bit out of my comfort zone. It's not romance, it's not fantasy, it's like thriller, mystery kind of book. Again, though, it sounds really good, so fingers crossed. And moving on to the prophecy room, which is room number 6, the prompt that I chose is Broaden Your Mind, a book from your least favorite genre worth 40 points. And the book that I chose is 5 Survive from Holly Jackson. I actually bought this at Barnes & Noble, which you'll hear about in a minute. We had to go to the library or bookstore to get a book. I got several. Sorry, not sorry. But this is one of the books I got. It definitely sounds like a horror thriller book, which again is like not my favorite genre. Like, I think it's like romance, fantasy, sci-fi. I mean, history, politics is down there too. So yeah, I'm very intrigued by this book. It's 386 pages, so it is not a small book, but it definitely sounds intriguing. Definitely not for my favorite genre, but again, I'm trying to push myself, broaden my mind with different genres. So we'll see. We'll see. So at this point on my TBR, I have 9 books, but hopefully I will make it to the Unspeakable room, where there are 4 more books to read. So the first prompt in the Unspeakable room was undercover reading, which again is not a problem from me. It's no physical copies allowed. And the book that I chose is It Ends With Us by Colleen Hoover. This book has been everywhere. Like Barnes and Nobles, when I was walking, it was literally like on the wall, the windows, the display. There was a display for It Ends With Us. Like this book has been all over Book Talk, TikTok, whatever. And if you watched one of my fairly recent-ish videos, I did my recent reads, and I read Verity by Colleen Hoover and another book. So I kind of went down that Colleen Hoover train, and I have to say I kind of like her. Like I really loved Verity. Like that was such a good book. I recommend it. So needless to say, I definitely wanted to include a book from Colleen Hoover, and this one just seemed like a good choice. It really did. I'm excited to read this. Apparently they're turning it into a movie, and I'm pretty sure Blake Lively was chosen for the main character, and we love her. Queen, goddess, she is amazing. So I definitely want to read the book before I watch the movie though. The second prompt is Can You Solve the Mystery? A book with the locked room trope. And if you had any confusions about this trope, literally just Google locked room trope and like tons of books come up. Oh my gosh, I couldn't choose. I literally would see a book, be like, ooh, read the description. like so many books I read the description of for this. But the book that I ended up choosing is We're All the Same in the Dark. You guys, I don't know why this like TBR ended up being like a lot of mystery thriller. I don't know why that happened. It just happened somehow. But yeah, the description on this book, again, it's on the screen. It's on the screen. Read it. Goosebumps. Like it kind of was like, I'm intrigued just by the description. So yeah, that's the one I chose. The third prompt in the Unspeakable was, can you prove your loyalty? Go to your local bookstore, library, and find a new book. And one of the books that I ended up buying, again, I bought several. I have a problem. But it is The Ninth House by Leigh Bardugo, I think. I've read a book from her before and I absolutely loved it. I cannot for the life of me remember the name of the book though. I'll try to remember and put it on the screen if I can, but I loved her writing style. I do remember that. Editing Tabby here. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am such a freaking idiot. She is literally the author of the Shadow and Bones trilogy, Six of Crows, Crooked Kingdom. So yeah, needless to say, it wasn't just one book, it was several. I absolutely adore the Grishaverse, so yeah, sorry, I'm an idiot. This is another book that just sounds absolutely amazing. Again, I'll put it on the screen. I only have 5 physical copies of books that I'm gonna be using for this readathon. All of the other ones are audiobooks or ebooks. And I don't apologize for that at all. Again, multitasking is a must for me right now, but I'm very excited to actually just sit down and read a book and take time. Like sometimes you just need that feeling of a book in your hand. So I'm very excited to read this. It sounds amazing. But the last prompt is, can you put in the research? Prove it and repeat a prompt worth 40 points. So I am going back to room 4, the time room, and I'm going to do the 40-point prompt, which was 3 turns should do it, buddy read for 3 hours with someone from a different time zone. I'm hoping I can catch Leanda or Allie or one of you guys and buddy read with you, because I decided to read another book that has been on my shelf for a long time. And this is another book from a book box subscription that I have not read. I think this one is also from Fairy Loot. Yes, Fairy Loot signed edition. And it is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O, maybe? And look at the sprayed edges. Like, I've literally just had this displayed on my shelf on the side because it's just gorgeous. It's absolutely gorgeous. But the description of the book also sounds absolutely amazing. This isn't the biggest book. It has 325 pages, but it has like very big pages and writing. So I feel like it'll be very easy to read. And I definitely feel like this is a good book to just sit down and buddy read with a friend. So yeah, guys, that is all of the books from my TBR. If I can complete all of these books, I will be an Unspeakable. Fingers crossed, guys. I'm really hoping it happens because, yeah, I didn't make it last time. I am determined to make it this time. But again, guys, that is my TBR. Definitely let me know what you think in the comments down below. Have you read any of these books? If you are also doing the Unspeakathon, let me know, and let me know some of the books that you chose, what prompts you chose. I would love to see y'all's TBR kind of written out in the comments. So yeah, I hope you guys are as excited as me and Leanda. It begins today. We got this, an entire month of reading. I believe in you guys. We can do this. But as always, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new to my channel, hey, welcome. Feel free to hit that subscribe button if you want to join my small community of Harry Potter lovers and bookworms. And I will see y'all next time. Bye, guys. Winter has come in the form of this Unspeakathon. Love a good cheese. A good cheese. I do like cheese. It's a classic. It's one of my favorites. So yes. The 75 hard challenge, which if you don't know anything about it, pray for me. Okay, book is the Dead Science, Dead Science, Weird Science. Oh, I loved that movie. Weird Science. Oh, God. Okay, anyway, sorry. Determined to make it this time. Again, I'm kind of working on my, what's it called? Obviously, I don't have it. Willpower. No. Determination. I obviously don't have it because I can't think of it. Not determination. It's something else. I don't know what I'm trying to say.